Hello fellow campers and welcome to the first ever edition of Everbloom Summer Camp. I am so happy you are here. Congratulations on finishing your first year, or not, of Everbloom Academy. I hope you have come to reset and refresh yourself with all the fun activities we have planned in the next 2 weeks, from going canoeing to spending a day at the beach to making s'mores on a bonfire. You are more than welcome to come in and enjoy yourself. Before you get cozy in your cabin and get ready for our first dinner together, I need to go over the rules, the expectations, though, so that we can have a grand time here. So buckle in, we'll get all of the rules and everything else you need out of the way so that you can have the time of your life at the Everbloom Summer Camp. In all seriousness, hello guys! If you are new to my channel and have never seen my face before, my name is Megan, and back in 2024 I created the Everbloom Read-a-thon. We have had 2 full rounds of Everbloom as well as a catch-up round, and we are, with this read-a-thon, ending year 1 of this project. If you have not participated in this read-a-thon yet but are interested, just know this is your last time to catch up before this read-a-thon kind of closes off and you are no longer able to hang out with us. So if this is something that's interesting to you, I will break everything down that you need to know to be up to speed for the next round and start of year 2 in September of 2025. As always, for my returning campers, you are able to skip ahead and just move on in with the timestamps. You guys jump around as you need to. The information will be in the video, and all the most important information will also be in the description. So feel free to navigate as you please, but I'm going to break everything down for you starting now. As I mentioned, we have had 2 full rounds of Everbloom. We had the September round, then we had a catch-up round in November, and then we had our second round in February. In order to be up to date currently, everybody needs to have done the reading for the 10 basic classes, 2 elective classes, as well as 3 department classes. Now remember, everybody needs to have done and picked their department for September of 2025. This is your last chance to figure out what department you want to be in. If that means nothing to you, let me explain. In Everbloom, we have had 2 semesters, and each semester has 5 basic classes that everybody needs to complete. In order to complete those, you can either read 1 book per prompt or double up on prompts, and you can even double up within 2 semesters if you were just catching up now, which means if you're reading a book that fits for a prompt in semester 1 and semester 2, you can do that. You can technically triple up, but I am only allowing people to triple up if you have not partaken in this read-a-thon before and you're trying to catch up before the end of June so that you are eligible to go into the September round. You also need to have done 2 elective classes, 1 elective from year 1 semester 1 and 1 elective from year 1 semester 2. Remember, there are a lot of elective classes. You only need to have done 2. And then you need to pledge yourself to 1 of the 3 departments. This is like an actual rule to this read-a-thon. It is not something you can bend. You need to pick a department by the end of June, because for September, like on September 1st, you need to pledge your allegiance to 1 department, and you cannot change departments unless you have the criteria to do so. Some people have done all of the departments just because they want to make up their mind later on. Some people have already kind of pledged themselves to a department, but I'm going to have an actual Google form for September 1st with you pledging your department, which means you have to have done the 3 department classes. All 3 of them need to be completed for you to be able to partake in year 2. You can find all of the prompts for those either in the announcement videos for year 1 semester 1 and year 1 semester 2, or in the Google Doc that I will leave in the description down below. It may not be up to date the second this video hits, but it will be before the start of the read-a-thon, which is my next point. The read-a-thon will be happening from June 22nd to July 5th. I said the last 2 weeks of June, but we are really doing the last like week and a half of June and going into July. This is when it is happening. This is when you need to be reading books for the read-a-thon. If you don't read the books during this time, they do not count. Now, the twist with summer camp is obviously that some of you have already finished all of these prompts, so you will not be using this as a catch-up round. So for those of you who need to catch up, if you didn't finish something in semester 1 and didn't finish something in semester 2, all you need to do and focus on during summer camp is completing the prompts you need to be eligible, as I mentioned, to start year 2. So this announcement for you is basically done unless you want to know more of like what reading sprints will be happening, all these activities. You can still join in those, but the catch-up round is pretty much it. You have those 2 weeks, so again from June 22nd to July 5th, to try and read as many of the books that you are missing in order to be able to keep going with this read-a-thon. Now, for those of you who are up to date and want to partake in the summer camp edition, where you will once again be gaining hall passes, this is for you. If, again, you did not participate in the November catch-up round, you may not know what a hall pass is. A hall pass is something you gain this time by playing a game board, and if you complete the game board you get a hall pass, and with that hall pass you can decide to skip out on a prompt from the next editions, next semesters. So if there's something from your department, for example, that you really don't want to do, or you run out of time in September but you had hall passes from June, then you are good to go. You can just use those and you'll be up to date with this read-a-thon. Now, I will show you guys the game board, but essentially that is the gist of it. That is why you could be joining in on the summer camp, and honestly, it's just a fun time. So again, you can use this read-a-thon in 2 ways, catching up with the missing prompts or joining in with the hall passes. That is how this works. Before I get into the game board, I will get the rest of the admin out of the way. So there will be no buddy read, obviously, for this round, because we don't do buddy reads for catch-ups because these are 2-week-long rounds instead of full month ones, so there's no buddy read this time around. Reading sprints will be set up in advance. I will be sprinkling them out between those 2 weeks. I have a lot of time off within that time frame because we have both the Quebec holiday as well as Canada Day during those times, so I have a few like holidays where I'll be able to do day sprints for all of my international people, as well as evening sprints that will be set throughout these 2 weeks. Again, you can click on the notify me button on the live section of my page if you want to be notified for sprints, and again, they will be using all of the same artwork I did with Everbloom last round, so they are easy to recognize. I will also be doing a fun kind of Kahoot game night in the spirit of, you know, summer camp, and that will be happening most likely either on July 1st or July 2nd. The date will be confirmed to you guys in the description down below. There's just a few things I need to work out date wise, but it will be one or the other, and I will try to do like that at a time where I can get most people to join in the day. So there will be a poll on my community tab asking you guys what time is best for you if you plan on joining. Obviously, it is not mandatory. This is kind of for the fun of it, as are the reading sprints. I will possibly also be hosting a cramming session, which is kind of like the equivalent of a 24-hour read-a-thon, whether that is during a weekend where I do a 24 and 48, or a random day, and if people can join me, they can. I will always be announcing that on the Discord. Speaking of, the link to this Discord, if you want to join, is always down below, and there are like templates if you want to share on your social media the books you are reading and all of that. Feel free to tag me. My Bookstagram is also always linked down below, but a lot of this read-a-thon happens on Discord. A lot of people share what they are reading. There are sections for each department. If you have any questions, concerns, you can either leave them in the comments, but the easiest way to reach me is via Discord, and a lot of other people who have joined this read-a-thon from the start can also answer any questions that you have, so please join the Discord if you'd like. There will also be a Google Doc, nope, Google Forms that will be opening up on the 22nd of June when this starts, so that you can record all the books that you have read for this specific round. Or for semester 1 and 2, you will have a chance to click and let me know what book you're reading this for, either for a hall pass semester 1 or semester 2. It's not an obligation to fill out the form, but it is ideal for me to keep track, and also because there will be one giveaway throughout this that will be hosted in the Discord, but there will be one person who will be getting a book, and it will be randomized through the Google form. And you always need to use the same handle and leave me a social media platform where I can join you, whether that is YouTube, Discord, Instagram, Twitter, whatever it is. You leave that as well in the form, but it is not mandatory as well. If there is any more information that I need to share with you, again, and it will all be in the description, but usually this is pretty much the same information for every round. And if you have, again, any questions or concerns, please do let me know in the Discord ideally, but I will answer comments here as well. I'm sorry if I forget anything. It's just, I feel like at this point, I've said this information so many times, but it's because it's been in so many different videos. The Everbloom playlist is linked down below. Again, you can hear this information how many times you want, and it's explained in every video. If you want a breakdown of how to do semester 1, go watch my video for the announcement of year 1 semester 1. If you want more information on semester 2, please go to semester 2 in the video. It'll all make more sense to you, but this is how I could break it down as easy as possible for you guys. Now, we are at the good part, which is the game board for Everbloom, which I will leave a photo of here so you guys can see on the screen, but there will also be a link so that you can either print it or see it at least for yourself digitally, because this is what you are going to use if you want a hall pass, or if honestly you just want to join and have a good time and play a game board. I may be looking down because I did print myself a copy so that I can play as well. But if you are able to complete this board game, you get 2 hall passes, and the limit of how many hall passes you can do is you can play this board once. Once you're done with summer camp, so you might not even need 2 weeks. Some of you will either be lucky with how the dice turn out for you, or if you're quick readers, that's fine. But if you complete the board, you get 2 hall passes, which is always the limit in a catch-up round. 2 hall passes if you complete the board once. Now, the board. It's a pretty self-explanatory board. You play with a 1 6-sided die. If you don't have any dice, you can Google it. Google has a bunch that you can just press and it'll give you a number and you can move around. That's how it works. So there is a start and there is a finish, and you need to actually fall on the last box, or if you roll over, you still need to complete the last prompt, which is the finish. So let me break down the prompts for you, because it's obviously the fun part. You start on start, there's no prompt there. You roll the dice, move around. First prompt is capture the flag. We're playing a game of capture the flag, and that prompt is to steal a book from another TBR. This does not have to be limited to somebody else's Everbloom's TBR. It could be anybody else's TBR for the month of June, or any other TBR video or TikTok you've seen. You steal a book from someone else's TBR. Then the next square over is tug of war, which is a poll pick. Now I will create a space in the Discord for you to be able to put poll picks up there if you want people from the read-a-thon to pick. If not, you can do it on your own private socials. You could do it through Instagram, whatever you want, but it is to put up a poll pick and have somebody else, people who participate in the poll pick a book for you. Then we have Relay Race, which is a book in a series. It could be book 1, it could be book 3, it could be whatever book you need, but it is a book that is part of a series. Scavenger Hunt is to scavenge your bookshelf for a TBR veteran. Now, a TBR vet will mean something different for everybody. For me, usually it is 6 months. For people, it's 3 years. For other people, it's a year. It doesn't really matter as long as you have your own definition of a TBR vet and it's not the last book you bought. We should be good to go. Then we have our first red space, which will impact how quickly you get through this board, which is Simon Says back to start. So you have to keep all the books that you have selected up until that space, but then you go back to the start and you start again, which again, you need to be able to complete this board to gain your hall pass. Then we have swimming, which isn't summer camp if you didn't go swimming, and it's simply a blue cover. It could have a little bit of blue on it, it could have a whole blue cover. As long as there's blue on the cover, you're good to go. Then we have Bug Bite, which is a book you're itching to read. So anything that you've acquired recently that you want to read, something you saw on social media you want to read, a library book that you're like excited about, whatever you're excited to read works for this prompt. Then we have Kickball, which is a book you're kicking yourself for not having read yet. This happens to me usually when I buy a book, like a new release I'm super excited about, and then it sits on my shelf for 2 years, and then I look at it and I'm like, how have I not read this book yet? I bought it full price. I was so excited for it. That's the space for you. Then we have Tag. Who doesn't love a good game of tag? Have someone else pick your book. Now that could be having your pet pick your book, your partner pick your book, your mom pick your book, your friend pick your book. I could pick a book for you. Just hit me up in Discord or Instagram. I'll pick for you. Whatever it is, whoever it needs to be, it could be a total stranger, your best friend, it doesn't matter. Have someone else pick your book. It could even be going to a bookseller and asking for a book recommendation, or a librarian. We love those librarians. Anything. Then we have Feast, which is a cheeseburger book, also known as a palate cleanser book. You know those times when you've read like an epic fantasy and then you just kind of want something happy and joyful, and then you pick up a romance and you're like, oh, this feels so good. It's kind of the same feeling as eating a cheeseburger. So that is what that means. Then we have Color War, which is when you let a color wheel pick your book. Now you can do this in a variety of ways. You can literally have a color wheel pick, and then you pick a book with a cover with that color. You can have a color wheel and then put book titles on it and just spin it, and it still kind of works because there's color on the wheel. Then we have our second red spot, which is obstacle course, which means you throw a dice. You throw your six-sided die, and the number it falls on is the number of spaces you have to go back. So it could be 1, it could be 6, it depends on your lucky stars. Then we have Camp Counselor, which is me. I am your camp counselor. And the prompt for that is to read a Meg Reads favorite. I have a lot of recommendation videos, favorites of the year. If you are not sure if something is like a favorite of mine, again, hit me up on Discord, on Instagram. You can hit me up here. I'll let you know. I like a lot of books. It shouldn't be too hard. Brandon Sanderson, if you're in a pitch, Rebecca Genchak, a lot of middle grade authors, Emily Henry, Allie Hazelwood, Stephanie Archer. Like, there's a lot that I enjoy. I'm not a picky reader. So just let me know what genre if you're struggling, and I'll help you. Then we have Beach Day, which is a book you'd read on the beach. Now listen, you could be a thriller girly and want to read a thriller on the beach. You can be a romance girly. You can be an epic fantasy girly. It doesn't matter. Whatever you see yourself physically pick up and sit on a beach and read is what you're reading for that prompt. Then we have a campfire because, duh, a book that gives you warm and cozy vibes. Again, that could be like a soul-crushing book, but if it gives you the warm and cozies, I'm not here to judge you. It could be a romance. It could be, I don't know, a literary fiction. Whatever floats your boat. Then we are slowly going back to school, so we have to take down the camp. And for that, you have to randomize your TBR because we are taking those TBRs down with us. And then just pick a book randomly. That could be, if you know the number of books on your shelves, have a random generator. You can take a stack of books that you want to read for the month of June, randomize that. That way you can count in your head, play Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo, however you want to randomize your TBR, but it has to be randomized. Then we have back to school prep, which is sad, but the prompt is not sad, and that is to read a book featuring academia in any way, shape, or form. It could be kind of a Nevermore situation where we have a main character go to school. It could be the Poppy War. It could be someone like Percy Jackson who goes to kind of camp and he learns stuff at camp. We can still count that. And then the finish line is any book from your TBR. self-explanatory. Anything that you have or have borrowed that you want to read works for this prompt. And that, kids, is how you complete the extra round, the bonus, and you get a hall pass. Well, 2 hall passes actually. So if you are lucky and you roll like a 6, you might only need to read like 3 books. If you're unlucky, it might be a long journey. But again, you are free to participate or not. I am really excited to play. I will be posting my video of me playing this very soon. I'm kind of nervous that I'm going to be very unlucky and end up with like 15 books on my TBR, but we're going to pretend it's not an option. So I hope you guys are as excited as I am to be playing this. And again, you can also like cram the end of like what you need if you need to read one book, and then you can join in on the fun and get a hall pass. You can decide to not do any of this, but the important thing is here is you have 2 weeks to catch up. If anything needs to be done, this is the last time you can get it done. And please, please, please remember, it needs to be books that you've read between June 22nd and July 5th. If not, it does not count. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave them in the comments or Discord. I will answer, or somebody else who has participated might answer for you, and I will correct if any information needs to be corrected. I hope this made sense for you, and I will see you obviously on June 22nd for some kickoff sprints. Otherwise, again, be on the lookout for my community page as well as my live page. You can be notified for live sprints, and you can participate in any polls regarding the activities. Thank you so much for watching. Leave me a fire emoji if you will be joining, and I'll see you very soon with another video. Bye guys, happy reading.